And this idea started to circulate that that the public were being sort of drip-fed information to the point that when they release further information, like projects or any future sightings, that it wouldn't spark such a massive reaction. Is there any credibility to that theory, in your opinion?
Yes, I do think that it's got some attractive points to it. And you could say that, since for the last 6, 7 years, certainly in the United States, which is the center of gravity for this topic at the moment, it, if you were to design some sort of acclimatization program to drip feed this out to people, because when you make the big announcement or when the big reveal happens, however it unfolds, you don't shock people by telling them something that they already believe. Now, if you were going to design a program to do just that, it would look like what's happened. You would have NASA, after years of saying they're not interested, do a study. You would have the Pentagon release some videos. You would have the pilots and the radar operators talk about how they chase these things and track these things. You would have the intelligence community personnel come and say they ran those programs. You would have hearings in Congress. And this is exactly what's going on right now in the US. So an acclimatization program would look exactly like what we're living right right at this moment. And people with some knowledge of these programs say that's exactly what's happening. They talk about a controlled disclosure plan, controlled because you don't want an adversary getting the technology, as I mentioned. You don't also want some sort of lone maverick getting the technology, because almost any extraterrestrial spacecraft that you could envisage to manage viable interstellar travel would involve the generation of very large amounts of energy. And almost anything that involves generating huge amounts of energy can be weaponized. So another reason why you wouldn't want to just dump all that information out into the public domain, particularly if you didn't yet fully understand it yourself. So that's one thing. Another reason why you want a controlled disclosure plan is my goodness, we have enough political, and let's not kid ourselves, religious differences are at the heart of a lot of it. Instability in the world today and hatreds caused by that. If you throw extraterrestrials into the already kind of pretty tinderbox situation, I mean, you can imagine worst case scenario what would happen. Because if you attack or undermine or challenge fundamentally somebody's beliefs, and so it's a major question. What will the leaders of the major world religions make of this? What will the most fundamentalist practitioners, whichever religion they adhere to, what will the more fundamentalist extremists, what will they make against this? Will they push back against it? Will they push back violently? What further instability will we see? So it needs to be carefully managed. And the alternative, and I've heard a few people use this phrase, again, insiders I'm talking about. If this doesn't get done in a sort of drip feed, step by step, controlled way, the alternative is what's called catastrophic disclosure. And catastrophic disclosure is, for example, if an adversary, knowing that maybe some of these instabilities are going to hit the US and the UK maybe harder because, ironically, because we're more democratic, an adversary might just, if they're able to do so, unleash catastrophic disclosure on the world for geopolitical reasons.